Hi, this is A.Z.V from Polish black metal band Gurthang, here to answer some questions for the Antichrist magazine. The name Gurthang comes from the works of J.R.R. Tolkien, specifically Silmarillion, and was the name of the sword of Turin Turambar, a tragic hero whose life was doomed by the curse of the enemy. And the sword was used later by Turin to take his own life, after discovering the horrible truth about himself that he had really refused to believe. I actually highly recommend reading the book. It's a classic. Martyrium is our 8th full album, released this May by Belgian label Immortal Frost Productions, both on vinyl and CD. Like our previous two albums, Ascension and Hearts of the Hollow, we're moving forward with mixing black and doom metal with elements of ambient and death metal. We've taken a more aggressive approach this time. The sound is much more powerful as well, mainly thanks to the help of Ben Turk, who was kind enough to master the album for us. So the first song, Aesthetics of Solicitude, is a paraphrase of the biblical story of the prodigal son. Here, however, the atonement is futile. There is no answer to prayers, and there's but one thing to do: to gaze deep within, find out the truth. Then, a conundrum unfolds, is where the realization comes. The light is absent, divine hand has been taken away, and the only thing left is the emptiness. Antithesis of creation is a rejection of the divine order, where the whole creation is ripped into pieces, dissolved into a shapeless mass from which one can construct their own foundations of the new world. And finally, in Void Wars Begotten, is a confrontation. God has died, and his cadaver on the throne has been replaced. Basically, the whole concept behind the album is a story of taking place of a god, only to eventually realize that one has fallen into a trap of becoming the very same thing they swore to destroy before. The cover art is titled Saint. It's a painting by Welsh artist Rhys Williams. We originally intended to use it for a cover of our album Ascension back in 2019, but decided to go another way with a wide style design. So the painting was put into the vault and has been waiting for a more proper moment. It didn't quite fit the theme of Hearts of the Hollow as well. However, this time I felt like it fits the concept perfectly, so we were happy to finally put it in front of our release. It's an amazing painting, as are many others by Rhys, so I highly recommend checking his work out. So Immortal Frost has released half of our albums at this point. We first worked together for the release of our 4th record, I Will Not Serve, in 2015. And since Ascension in 2019, they've been taking care of all our full-length albums. They have amazing distribution deals both in Europe and North America. For quite underground band like us, this is incredible to see our album available in all important online stores all around the world, basically. But what most important to us is the quality of the physical releases, specifically the vinyls. If you haven't yet, give them a look. They're beautifully made with a lot of attention to detail, and especially the special editions. I'd rather not discuss this here, as it doesn't have anything to do with the band. I guess it would be sometime in my early teenage years, around middle school. Back then, anything heavier and more blasphemous was, highly enticing, different, rebellious. First bands that caught my interest and made me dive deeper into metal music were Polish classics, so Behemoth, Vader, early records by Cat, specifically their first two albums, 666 and Oddech Wymarłych Światów. These are like classic first wave black metal / thrash metal records. They were even more enticing because of the heavily satanic message. It was like a forbidden fruit when growing up in a predominantly Catholic society and being brought up in a Catholic family. I think most of the obstacles we faced were in our early years. Figuring out how to make music at low cost, especially if you consider that I started Gurthang when I was still in high school. Then finding proper people to play music with and figuring out the logistics. Remember, we're basically an international band. We've had members in Poland, Canada, Norway, Ukraine, Syria, and even Australia or New Zealand. This takes a lot of planning to keep that kind of band going. It's difficult to gain momentum. And fortunately, the people that are still in the band are happy with me running it with a strong hand. They know what I want and I know what to expect, so I'm able to give them a lot of artistic freedom. I don't have to tell them what exactly they need to do. I don't need to tell them anything specific. They feel the music, they know it. And I'm 100% sure they will come up with something of high quality that I will not be complaining about. And yeah, I'm glad that I was able to turn Gurthang from my more of a solo project into this collective where everyone can bring something to the table, despite the fact that they might be predominantly playing a different instrument, but still, everyone is welcome to give anything. That's how it goes. I don't think anyone specific comes to my mind. For Gurthang, we like to keep it within our own inner circle of just ourselves and our friends, and don't really feel the need to bring any outsiders into it. And if you ask about me personally, though, I think I could think of several people that it would be nice to work with. Just off the top of my head, I'd love to have a chance of spending a day in a studio with, let's say, Paul McCartney or Eminem. I'm all for change. I like constant evolution, and personally, I'm not a fan of sticking to the sound of 90s second wave. It had its time in the past. Of course, tons of great music was created back then, there's no denying that. But I can't imagine playing like that and aiming for that sound on purpose now. I'm much more interested in a bit more avant-garde approach. I'm a huge fan of bands like Death Spell Omega, Blue Devils Nord, or Imperial Triumphant. Fortunately, black metal is such a broad and diverse genre that there's plenty of everything for everyone, whether we like it the modern or the old school way. Okay, your thoughts on AI-generated cover art? It's shit. Memorable concert you've attended? I'd say Roger Waters in Krakow. Greatest music album of all time, Pink Floyd's The Wall. 12 a.m. studio session or 6 a.m. rehearsal? I'm fine with both, but I'd rather stick with 12 a.m. studio session. Favorite non-rock metal song? I don't really have one. There are tons of non-metal songs I love and listen to every day, so it's impossible for me to choose just one. We'd like to experiment a bit more in the near future. Maybe do a couple of smaller releases like single songs or EPs. We're feeling a bit exhausted with the formula of releasing an album every 2 years. Yeah, it's been like this for a while now, and we feel we'd like to change this up a bit. We'll surely enter the studio once again very soon, and yeah, I guess we'll just see what happens. And whatever we decide to do, whether it's single song, it's an EP, we'll surely get back to recording a full-length concept album as well at some point, because that's just how we do it. Like I've mentioned before, like my favorite my favorite music album, not specifically non-metal, is Pink Floyd's The Wall. So I'm a bit obsessed with concept albums, and if you dive into lyrics on any Gurthang album, you will surely see that. So yeah, we'll surely get back to that as well. So I guess that's it. So thank you for the interview, and please check out our music if you haven't already.